Human trafficking is a major industry in Iran. And while Tehran doesn't acknowledge the situation, a wide range of media outlets publish data that confirm there is criminal activity and point to the target victims mostly being women. These women often end up working in the sex trade, usually in the Persian Gulf states, Turkey and other Eastern European countries. Frequently forced into this work against their wishes, the women end up as sex slaves. Some other women who hope to emigrate but can't afford to pay the traffickers also fall into this trap of sexual abuse and exploitation. The traffickers take the women's identification papers, promising new IDs after relocation, but this is a way traffickers can take control of these women's lives and bend them to their will. Some women, though very few, do enter into an agreement with the traffickers willingly, knowing their future, hoping to gain the benefits of relocation and some quick money. Iranian prostitutes appear most frequently in Iranian tourist destinations, also in Iraqi Kurdish regions, specifically the city of Sulaymaniyah. Sex trade exploitation is the most significant segment of human trafficking in Iran, but Iranian girls are not the only target. Relocating to a new country without permission from state-run bureaucracy is a crime with severe punishments. So people who want to leave Iran and settle in Western countries provide the second largest market for human traffickers. With the promise of a new life in the UK, Australia, Canada or the US, many believe an easy crossing into Turkey will be the start of their new lives. There's no visa requirement for an Iranian entering Turkey. An alternative offered by traffickers for those without a valid passport is to enter Turkey via Iraqi Kurdish regions. Iranian refugees present a problem for Western governments. The UK demanded Iran resettle over 2,000 failed asylum seekers before reopening its Tehran embassy, while Australia keeps refugees on Manus Island in Papua New Guinea until their asylum status is decided, and Iranian refugees make up the majority. Many of the traffickers' routes require long sea voyages. They often cold-heartedly overload refugees into small boats unsuited for the trips, putting their lives at risk, and many of the boats sink with terrible loss of life. Another aspect of human trafficking is relocating human bodies, or parts of them, to sell to research or educational institutions. There have been numerous instances of human traffickers digging up recent graves to steal corpses to sell on the black market. The black market offers more profit and less risk than selling to the research or educational market. Official Iran constantly asks people to register their wish to donate their bodies to research, thereby avoiding the criminals and providing sufficient bodies for research and education. However, there remains a demand and therefore a marketplace for criminals. Recently, Iran has seen a new trafficking phenomenon: the trafficking of refugees who fled other Middle Eastern war zones like Iraq and Syria and sought safety within Iran, and their forced recruitment to militia units. Iran's Revolutionary Guard has formed several militias that recruit only foreigners: Afghanis, Pakistanis or Iraqi Shias. Some of these soldiers have since sought asylum in the West after escaping from IRGC military bases. They report there was sometimes coercion, forcing them into the military, sometimes inducements such as Iranian citizenship or safety for family members, but often straightforward intimidation. Iran denies these reports, claiming these militias enlist only legitimate volunteers. Under international law, relocating people by force, coercion or deception is classed as human trafficking. Traffickers in Iran also turn a profit by selling human organs on the black market. Some rich and affluent Iranians and others beyond Iran exploit the poor and needy, frequently targeting those persecuted by the Tehran regime. Often these people voluntarily sell their organs or those of their children. Selling organs in Iran is illegal. Despite this, there was a report published recently entitled "How to Buy a Kidney from Iran." There are also reports of traffickers kidnapping and mutilating children so their organs can be harvested. Iran is in the perfect location for human traffickers. It's close to Europe, it has access to the sea, it shares borders with many underdeveloped or warring nations, and it has mountainous borders that are difficult to patrol and control effectively. We know human trafficking continues as an international crime. Does it happen in Iran? Are Iranians involved? Is there any evidence to support this? It seems clear that the answer to all three of these questions is yes.